Okay.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Daily Herald here on Badlands Media. I'm your host, Jon Herold, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful Tuesday so far. I'm having a great day, not going to lie. I finally am like inches away from this project I've been working on. Just have a few finishing touches, and it's just a little weight off my shoulders. So very excited for you guys to see that. I wouldn't say I've caught up on my sleep yet. But I don't have my kids this week, but so yesterday in the morning, my kids stayed home from school, and they got a short week this week anyway. There's parent-teacher conferences. They don't have school, I think, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. But for the rest of the week, they're with their mother. So today was their last day of school. But this is also the week of my daughter's birthday. And so she was very much looking forward to like at the school, they do a birthday announcement. Where, like, oh, happy birthday to so-and-so and so-and-so, or, the birthdays are over the weekend or whatever. And because she stayed home sick, she was like devastated this morning that they weren't going to wish her happy birthday over the PA system. And that because normally you can have your parents come to lunch with you too during those days. And she's like devastated. So I've got to work on getting, why did I talk about this? I don't know why I talked about this, but anyway. But yeah, so there's a little birthday party this weekend if she's feeling good, hopefully she's not still sick, which is always fun. Bunch of kindergartners were running around. But yeah, news-wise, guys, this will be the last day I hopefully have to say this for quite a while, but I didn't do the normal show prep like I normally would. And I said this was going to end last week. The project got a little longer and more detailed than I anticipated. It's well worth it, but there's still plenty to discuss and some stuff I want to dig through. After the show, I will send you guys over to Ghost Show. I think he's doing geopolitics with Ghost, which I'd encourage you to watch, as I always do. Stream of consciousness show. That's pretty much what this is, yeah. I don't do many of those. I'm normally pretty good, like other hosts, Burning Bright, for example. They do that a lot. They'll just, but their stuff makes sense. Their stream of conscious, whatever they say, whatever comes to mind, what they say. Mine doesn't always make sense. I literally do not remember why I started saying that. Badlander fan, no Charlie Kirk award streaming on Badlanders? ? Yeah. I didn't even know there was a stream for that. I didn't even know there was an award ceremony for that. So yeah, I guess not. Someone clip that. John said BB makes sense. Sometimes, but like my point with BB, and he knows this, I've said this to him, is he'll take 10 minutes to make sense, something that he could have said to make sense in 30 seconds or less. But hey, that's why we have a drinking game around it. It's all in good fun. Let's get a quick word from our sponsors, and we'll start plugging away. First up, we got some Conscious Strength. Good buddy over there at Conscious Strength, Jordan Sather, Badlander. Maha yourself with supplements that don't suck from Conscious Strength. I can vouch they do not suck. Founded by Badlands' very own Jordan Sather in 2019, Conscious Strength products are made in America and won't break your bank, unlike other online brands. Their lineup includes collagen for strengthening joints and hair, electrolytes to get rid of those cramps, green powder that tastes so good and makes it so easy, Shilajit gummies. I still can't say that word, guys. We need to figure out, Jordan, I know you're not watching, even though you should be, but I know you're watching, but somebody needs to remind me to tell Jordan, or somebody tell Jordan that we need to figure out a different word to use, like mushroom gummy. Isn't that some type of mushroom? Shilajit? We need to put a different word in there, or at least some form of pronunciation so I don't sound so silly when I try to read it. Anyway, some special kind of gummies, methylene blue, zeolite, and more. Flip the finger to pharma be your own doctor, and get supplements that you can trust from conscious strength. Go to badlandsmedia.tv/strength to shop now. One more time, that's badlandsmedia.tv/strength. The link will be in the description of this video. I just said it like I had a lisp. Conscious. This is going to be a fun show, guys. Force it into English. Shilajit. Shilajit? Is it Jeet? Shilajit? Jeet? I take no responsibility for that, I'd read. And it was affiliate one anyway, so it's not like you pay cash for that. So I don't feel too guilty. But I'll feel guilty if I mess this one up because these guys are great. Not that Jordan isn't great. Jordan is great and his products are great. But this guy isn't a part of Badlands. So you guys have been sold a lie that food should be cheap. That grocery store chicken and beef are fine. They're not. At Rattlesnake, they raise protein the right way. Pasture-raised, 21-day aged beef and premium pasture-raised chicken with no subsidies, no shortcuts. It's not cheap to produce. It shouldn't be cheap to eat. Bite back. Think differently about your protein. Visit rattlesnakemeats.com/Badlands. Promo code Badlands and get an order sent Monday or Tuesday. Ships to all the lower 48 states, shipping included. They got a point there. If you're looking for a discount on your meats, I mean, what do you expect to get? Yeah, let me some rattlesnake though. Rattlesnake meats. Great people, great product. Okay, let's see what we got here in terms of news. I do not believe there's an update on the Doge website. That is correct. There is a update to the presidential website. We have Trump's declaration for enduring peace and prosperity. This was put out there yesterday. This must be the agreement they signed. So I'm just going to read it in full real quick. We, the undersigned, welcome the truly historic commitment and implementation by all parties to the Trump peace agreement, ending more than 2 years of profound suffering and loss. See, I thought it was 3,000 years or 500 years. They need to pick a time frame and settle on what the story is here. It's getting a little confusing. Opening a new chapter for the region defined by hope, security, and a shared vision for peace and prosperity. We support and stand behind President Trump's sincere efforts to end the war in Gaza and bring lasting peace to the Middle East. Together, we will implement this agreement in a manner that ensures peace, security, stability, and opportunity for all peoples of the region, including both Palestinians and Israelis. We understand that lasting peace will be one in which both Palestinians and Israelis can prosper with their fundamental human rights protected, their security guaranteed, and their dignity upheld. We affirm that meaningful progress emerges through cooperation and sustained dialogue, and that strengthening bonds among nations and peoples serves the enduring interests of regional and global peace and stability. We recognize the deep historical and spiritual significance of this region to the faith communities whose roots are intertwined with the land of the region, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism among them. Respect for these sacred connections and the protection of their heritage sites shall remain paramount in our commitment to peaceful coexistence. Do they not actually have like any of the details? What in the world? We are united in our determination to dismantle extremism and radicalization in all its forms. No society can flourish when violence and racism is normalized or when radical ideologies threaten the fabric of civil life. We commit to addressing the conditions that enable extremism and promoting education, opportunity, and mutual respect as foundations for lasting peace. We hereby commit to the resolution of future disputes through diplomatic engagement and negotiation rather than, I'm sorry, I'm trying to take my coat off. I'm getting hot in here. Where are we at? Rather than through force or protracted conflict. We acknowledge that the Middle East cannot endure a persistent cycle of prolonged warfare, stalled negotiations, or the fragmentary, incomplete, or selective application of successfully negotiated terms. The tragedies witnessed over the past 2 years must serve as an urgent reminder that future generations deserve better than the failures of the past. We seek tolerance, dignity, and equal opportunity for every person, ensuring this region is a place where all can pursue their aspirations in peace, security, and economic prosperity, regardless of race, faith, or ethnicity. Pursue a comprehensive vision of peace, security, and shared prosperity in the region, grounded in the principles of mutual respect and shared destiny. In this spirit, we welcome the progress achieved in establishing comprehensive and durable peace agreements arrangements in the Gaza Strip. I'm just so confused by this, guys. As well as the friendly and mutually beneficial relationship between Israel and its regional neighbors, we pledge to work collectively to implement and sustain this legacy, building institutional foundations upon which future generations may thrive together in peace. We commit ourselves to a future of enduring peace. And they have all the people. Oh, so this isn't even... Okay. This isn't even Israel. This is just Egypt, America, Qatar, and Turkey. I was like, Israel and Hamas signed this? That's why I was confused. So apologies. I'm less confused now. Much less confused. I thought this was the peace deal between Israel and Hamas. Like, we promise to be better and diplomatic, and we love each other, and we can't do bad things or say mean things. But that's not this. This is just the United States with Egypt, Qatar, and Turkey doing all that. So it's a little less. I don't really care. But interesting. No Israel. Babbage 3, I've been betting everyone in the YouTube chat that the secret project you've been working on is a spaceship. Godspeed, John. I know you won't let me down. It's not a spaceship, but you might say it's out of this world. Out of this world good. I don't know. I don't want to give any hints or clues, but it's been well worth the effort that has been put into it. We'll say that. And I think you guys will appreciate it. Yeah, CC in the chat says, gay. Bayarthur's Dick John, it sounds like the answer to a Miss Universe question about world peace. That's actually great. I wonder if that's what Trump did back when he used to do Miss America or whatever, Miss Universe. It's like, we need to write something down for a contract between these countries. It needs to be about world peace. Go see if we can find Miss Alabama's answer from back in 2011. That's so good. Monty 710, is it your mom's show? No, it is not my mom's show. I have not committed to giving her a show yet. By the way, my sister had a baby yesterday. That was cool. Speaking of my mom, I don't even know the name yet. They haven't even told us the name. It was a 9 pounds, 2 ounce baby. Big baby. But no, my mom, as of now, is not getting a show. I don't want to subject her to the internet quite yet. I don't know if she can handle that. I don't know if you guys can handle that either. Bravis says, just your effort. No, it's the effort of multiple people. Yeah, I am the uncle. They did not name it Patel. I'm pretty confident about that, but I still don't know the actual name. They haven't even told my parents yet. They want to tell their current kids, well, their older kids now, first before they tell anybody else. But I'm confident it's not Patel. The shutdown is still ongoing. I know we can all feel it. The burden is tough. But I do have a clip I want to play for you from Speaker Mike Johnson. According to Libs of TikTok, he blasts the Democrats' insane list of demands to end the government shutdown. If it's true, it is. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous.
And they would send $500 million to liberal news outlets by refunding the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. It would also restore up to $5 billion of American taxpayer funds for wasteful spending for international projects. Here's a couple of examples. This is in their legislation, their counterproposal on the CR to keep the lights open. This is what they want to do. They want to spend $24.6 million of your hard-earned dollars as a taxpayer for climate resilience in Honduras. They want to spend $13.4 million for civic engagement in Zimbabwe. They want to send $3.9 million for LGBTQI plus democracy grants in the Western Balkans. They want to spend $2.9 million of your dollars for desert locust risk reduction in the Horn of Africa. And $2 million for, quote, organizing for feminist democratic principles in Africa. We are not doing that. And they would send
as you shouldn't. I mean, that is ridiculous. I want to see the documentation for it, though. Like, I want to see the actual bills they put forth. And I mean, I know to do that, I could just go look, and I haven't done that part yet. But again, I've been a little distracted. But I'll do that this week. I'm going to go dig and see if I can find the actual bill and see what else is in there, because I bet that's not all of it. But that's insane. Money for desert locust risk reduction in Africa? Is that what you want your taxpayers, like your tax dollars, to go to? Like, hey, you worked super hard this month to scrape by. I know you're struggling with your bills, but give me a percentage of your money because there are desert locust risks in Africa, and we need to try our best to reduce them. I still think any foreign spending of any kind should be illegal. Of any kind. Like, if even to like our allies and shit, and if they need money or weapons and stuff, I'm not a fan of that. I'm really not. No foreign spending whatsoever. Anyway, let's go through a couple true social posts from Trump. There's been a few interesting ones. We got this from him today. I guess this might have been like 12 hours ago. Midnight exactly. From Jensen Huang. It says, Avanaton has come home. Dear NVIDIANs. By the way, Trump quoted it with, President Trump did the miracle. We are so proud and grateful. I'm proudly moved and deeply grateful to share that just moments ago, our colleague Avanaton, Avanaton Or, that's his name, was released to the Red Cross in Gaza after 2 unimaginable years in Hamas captivity. Avanaton has come home. So this thing is praising Trump for one of their employees being released. And it's pretty cool. We also got this. He had said, I'm heading back home to a very safe and beautiful Washington, D.C. Accomplished so much today in Israel and Egypt. A lot of work, but I wouldn't have it any other way. It was an experience like no other. Now all those great countries that have fought so long and so hard for the region have come together and get the job done. Have to come together and get the job done. Gaza is only part of it. The big part is peace in the Middle East. Rabbi later, if we know anything, Trump has a way of saying out loud the opposite of what he really wants. I say he wants shutdown. I do too. But he'll do both. He will literally do both. I think that FBI story yesterday is the perfect example of that. Absolutely love how he's engaged with that on social media, because he's the fact is we don't even know what the truth of the situation is. We have our speculations and like, yeah, I assume. I mean, it makes total sense that there were embedded agents, but the story he's referring to, he has gone from both sides of the same story, and we don't even know if the underlying story is true. And the underlying story doesn't say what a lot of people want it to say. Like that engagement on that is fascinating. Alpha called for the word safe and into a post a la Alpha. Trump did get a safe into a post a la Alpha request. Alpha called for their safe. Interesting. Yeah, he can operate in 2 battle spaces at once. That's how it's the feedback loop. We talk about that often. Well, we have this. Time magazine wrote a relatively good story about me, but the picture may be the worst of all time. They disappeared my hair and then had something floating on top of my head that looked like a floating crown, but an extremely small one. Really weird. I never liked taking pictures from underneath angles, but this is a super bad picture and deserves to be called out. What are they doing and why? I want to see. I don't know if this is the actual picture. I want to see what picture they used. Oh, this one. Oh, yeah, that is not very flattering, to say the least. That's rough. But the social media post here is fantastic. He's like, yeah, they wrote a great article about me, and I'm assuming they did. I haven't read it yet, but talking about his triumph in the Middle East and all this stuff he's accomplished and securing this peace deal. And then his issue is about his hair. That's too good. That's classic. Anyway, let's keep going. Oh, this is what you're talking about. Just got back from the Middle East. What a point in time it was. The crowd for Charlie K's Presidential Medal of Freedom presentation is so big and enthusiastic that I moved it out to the new Rose Garden, where everyone can see the Presidential Wall of Fame and the Palm Court renovation. Enter through main south entrance. That's what the guy was referring to in the chat earlier. Did not realize that was today. I thought there was like a Charlie Kirk award, not that Charlie Kirk was posthumously receiving the Medal of Freedom. I knew he was going to get it, but I didn't know that was today. Donald Trump, all 20 hostages are back and feeling as good as can be expected. A big burden has been lifted, but the job is not done. The dead have not been returned. As promised, phase 2 begins right now. There you go. Talks about Trump's book, son's book. I think that's all we got from his True Social post. We got this from CNBC. Jamie Dimon says auto company bankruptcies reveal early signs of excess in corporate lending. On Tuesday, Jamie Dimon said that the U.S. auto market are signs that corporate lending standards grew to lax in the past decade plus. Dimon, the longtime leader of the largest U.S. bank by assets, was speaking about a recent collapse of auto parts firm First Brands and subprime car lender Tricolor Holdings. This is this quote. We've had a credit bull market now for the better part of what? Since 2010, 2012. It's like 14 years. There are early signs there might be some excess out there because of it. If we ever have a downturn, you're going to see quite a bit of credit issues. Dimon used more colorful language about the Tricolor failure Tuesday. When you see one cockroach, there are probably more. Everyone should be forewarned on this one. The pair of bankruptcies have sparked concerns about the hidden risks involved when banks like JP Morgan, Jefferies, and Fifth Third provide financing for private companies. In a quarter where JP Morgan handily topped expectations thanks to booming activity in its institutional trading, questions from reporters and analysts around credit losses took center stage. Is Titty Bank not a private lender? I didn't see them listed. Oh, so Oracle, you guys, they're part of the deal buying TikTok, and they've already had the data centers for TikTok. Well, they just announced that they are going to deploy 50,000 AMD AI chips, signaling new NVIDIA competition. I played the clip, but it's pretty long, so I'm just going to read a little bit here. Oracle Cloud Infrastructure on Tuesday announced it will deploy 50,000 advanced micro devices graphics processors starting in the second half of 2026. AMD's shares climbed 2%. Oracle shares sank 4%, while NVIDIA was more than 3% lower. The move is the latest sign that cloud companies are increasingly offering AMD's graphics processing units as an alternative to NVIDIA's. We feel like our customers are going to take up AMD very, very well, especially in the inferencing space. Oracle will use AMD's Instinct M1450 chips, which were announced earlier this year. They are AMD's first AI chips that can be assembled into a larger rack-size system that enables 72 of the chips to work as one, which is needed to create and deploy the most advanced AI algorithms. And again, I think this is not only in conjunction with the TikTok deal, and I think that's very important, but I also think this has to do with the AI future and where things are going. And you remember Trump very early on in the year had Larry Ellison there at the White House, and they were talking about their investment in the United States and like $500 billion to build a chip place or cloud computing infrastructure in Texas. And they talked about biomarkers and diseases and stuff, and everybody freaked out, and rightfully so. Well, maybe rightfully so. I don't remember exactly why people are freaking out, but people freak out all the time, and most of the time it's not rightfully so. So maybe I should say people weren't rightfully freaking out. I don't know. But anyway, that has nothing to do with my point. Trump has closely worked with Oracle for some time now, a long time. And many of Trump's key close allies and people that we think are involved in something big behind the scenes have connections to Oracle as well. Ezra Cohen-Wannick is a great example. So anytime I see Oracle news, I like to talk about it because I don't know, I think it's relevant. I always think it's relevant. I also want to talk about this story real quick. Trump trade rep says new 100% tariff on China depends on Beijing's next move. President Donald Trump could still slap China with a 100% tariff on November 1st or sooner, depending on Beijing's next move in a dispute over rare earths. A lot depends on what the Chinese do, said Greer in an interview. They are the ones who have chosen to make this major escalation. China announced sweeping restrictions on rare earth exports last week. And we've talked about the story. But yesterday, Trump had a True Social post where he's like, yeah, things are fine. They'll behave. And now it's like, oh, well, maybe not. We don't know. But I do have another story I want to show you having to do with this. I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. Here we go. Besant says Trump Xi Jinping will meet for trade talks. I can tell you, trying to get leverage in front of a meeting with Donald Trump is a bad idea, said Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. I agree, it's probably a bad idea. Don't doubt him for a second. President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping will meet for trade talks, said Besant. The two leaders will meet at the APEC summit in South Korea, which is set for October 31st through November 1st. That's the signal the president has given, Besant said. Trump said earlier on True Social there was no reason to meet with Xi after China announced that it would tighten critical minerals export controls. However, Besant said that since then, the lines of communication have reopened and that the U.S. would reject the new restrictions. See, I didn't even know that the lines of communications had closed. I don't think that was said anywhere. Like they were not communicating, and then China all of a sudden just slapped these export controls on. That doesn't make sense. And also, the conclusion that we're gonna be at here is these two leaders still meeting, likely. Now, if it doesn't happen, that's different. But let's just play with the idea that what Besant is saying here is legitimate, and they are still planning to meet. That means getting from point A to point B was always going to be the same thing, and they just threw a bunch of other stuff in the middle for a different reason. Like they wanted some sort of story in here, and the motivation for that could be anything. Did they want it to make it seem like Trump is another great negotiator? Is there something to do with prices in the market? I don't know. But literally, like, had that event not happened where China's like doing the letters and the export control and Trump had the True Social post where he was super offended and all these things, had that not happened, the outcome we're told that is about to unfold is the exact same as it would have been before. That's the kind of stuff that's interesting. What is something in the chat? Bravis says closed. What is happening here? I think there are some shenanigans afoot in the chat. Which, by the way, if you're listening, make sure you tune in. Oh, Cece, I just yelled bless you, but he definitely didn't hear me. Thank you. I did not hear you. Jessica Storm is on it. We're doing the Presidential Medal of Freedom stream today, so you guys got it. Quotes, John. Oh, that was not all Scott Besant. That was a lot of me talking. I forgot to close my quotes. Thank you for pointing that out. Apologies. Don't want to get in trouble for that. Supreme Court has declined to hear appeal in Michigan alternate electors case. Supreme Court has declined to hear an appeal from Clifford James Frost, one of Michigan's alternate electors who declared President Trump the rightful winner of the state in 2020. Frost was among 16 Republicans charged by Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel for submitting an alternate slate of electors after the election. He argued the prosecution was politically motivated, claiming Nessel sought to retaliate against and or punish the Republican electors for contesting the results. A Michigan judge dismissed the charges against Frost earlier this year, citing insufficient evidence. AG Nessel said after the ruling that her office was evaluating if they would appeal. Her office waived its right to respond to Frost's petition to the Supreme Court. I would like to know the details of that appeal. But we also got this. Trump appointed U.S. Attorney Lindsey Halligan removes top prosecutor in Virginia office. Maggie Cleary, a senior Justice Department prosecutor who briefly served as the acting U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia before Lindsey Halligan's appointment, has been removed from the office, according to CNN. It remains unclear whether Cleary is still employed by the department in another role. Her exit marks the latest in a wave of firings and resignations since Halligan, a close ally of President Trump and his former personal attorney, took over last month. She's kind of a badass, it seems like. She's doing a lot of the things that Trump has been wanting people to do that they haven't done up until this point. So I'm here for it. You got this story. Speaking of Jamie Dimon, should have mentioned this earlier. JP Morgan Chase launches $1.5 trillion initiative to boost U.S. economic security and critical industries. They announced the launch of its Security and Resiliency Initiative, a $1.5 trillion 10-year plan aimed at strengthening industries vital to national economic security. The program will include direct equity and venture capital investments of up to $10 billion in select U.S. companies to support growth, innovation, and strategic manufacturing. They are looking to invest in 4 key sectors: supply chain and advanced manufacturing, covering critical minerals, pharmaceutical precursors, and robotics; defense and aerospace, including defense technology, autonomous systems, drones, next-generation connectivity, and secure communications. That one's interesting to me because I'm pretty sure Chris Miller... Let me find something for you guys. Where is Chris Miller at right now? I am pretty confident that he is at a drone place and like an autonomous. He's in a couple different companies. Yeah, so one of them is this Design Technologies. Let me show you what that is. Again, Chris Miller, former acting Secretary of Defense. The future of autonomous defense. There's one. And then he's also joined this Fulcrum Venture Group, which is also a private capital firm investing in early stage defense technologies. There's one more I thought that he was with. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, yeah, this is the other one. Dragonfly Inc. He's one of the directors. Let me show you what this is. I think this is the drone one, too. I looked this up the other day, like a couple weeks ago. I forgot to show you guys. Dragonfly Inc. Trusted name in UAV hardware, software, sensors, and services. He's on the board of directors of it. So anyway, the whole point of me showing you any of that is that's one of the sectors that JP Morgan Chase is going to be investing in with this new $10 billion or $1.5 trillion initiative, 10-year plan. They're also going to do energy independence and resilience, focused on battery storage, grid resilience, and distributed energy solutions. General Quast has talked a lot about that at our conferences, so that's interesting. And then frontier and strategic technologies covering AI, cybersecurity, and quantum computing. These four areas are further divided into 27 subsectors, ranging from shipbuilding and nuclear energy to nanomaterials and critical defense components. Wonder if it includes shit posting online, because I would love to get a donation from this $1.5 trillion 10-year plan. I'll see if I'll apply if there's like an application process. Let's see. What else do I want to talk about? Oh, yeah. Here we go. The Supreme Court has rejected Alex Jones's appeal of $1.4 billion defamation judgment in Sandy Hook shooting. I think I saw it was just like last week or 2 weeks ago. He said that he's like the last show ever. They're taking it. And I'm pretty sure he's been streaming since. I guess I haven't been as active on social media as I normally am, but I don't know. Maybe it's finally happening. Supreme Court on Tuesday rejected an appeal from the conspiracy theorist Alex Jones and left in place the $1.4 billion judgment against him over his description of the 2012 Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting as a hoax staged by crisis actors. The InfoWars host had argued that a judge was wrong to find him liable for defamation and infliction of emotional distress without holding a trial on the merits of the allegations lodged by relatives of the victims of the shooting, which killed 20 first graders and 6 educators in Newtown, Connecticut. The justices did not comment on their order, which they issued without even asking the families of the Sandy Hook victims to respond to Jones's appeal. An FBI agent who responded to the shooting also sued. Jones filed for bankruptcy in late 2022. And his lawyers told the justices that the plaintiffs have no possible hope of collecting the entire judgment. He's separately appealing a $49 million judgment in a similar defamation lawsuit in Texas after he failed to turn over documents sought by the parents of another Sandy Hook victim. In the Connecticut case, the judge issued a rare default ruling against Jones and his company in late 2021 because of what she called Jones' repeated failure to abide by court rulings and to turn over certain evidence to the Sandy Hook families. The following year, the jury agreed on a $964 million verdict, and the judge later tacked on another $473 million in punitive damages against Jones and free speech systems. In November, the satirical news outlet The Onion was named the winning bidder in an auction to liquidate InfoWars assets. But the bankruptcy judge threw out the auction results. The attempt to sell off InfoWars assets has moved to Texas State Court in Austin. Jones is now appealing a recent order from the court that appointed a receiver. Some of Jones' personal property is also being sold off as part of the bankruptcy case. Sounds like it's still ongoing. So I don't know why I read all that. I just couldn't stop. I was hooked. Anyway, shutdown polls show Democrats' economic messaging still falling flat. Yeah, no kidding. Not really surprised there. I don't really want to go into the details of that. What else? Oh, see, I missed this yesterday. I didn't even realize yesterday was Columbus Day until somebody told me on baseless conspiracies last night. Trump restores Columbus Day to the elation of Italians, but some liberals resist. In 2019, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser signed a bill that designated Indigenous Peoples Day in Washington, D.C. as a replacement for Columbus Day. President Trump has restored it, though, as a federal holiday, and Italians from Giorgia Meloni to American politicians are loving it. Don't really care, but whatever. Trump administration injects $300 million into WIC program amid government shutdown. The government shutdown, which began just before WIC was due to receive its annual funding, left many state and tribal agencies trying to find ways to continue operations. In a critical move to prevent disruptions in food assistance for millions of families, the Trump administration this week directed $300 million toward the special supplemental nutrition program for women, infants, and children. So the program would cut its operations. What is this? That's not even my bad reading. That's bad writing. So the program could its operations during the ongoing government shutdown. Nice work, Nicholas Balazi. WIC supports over 6 million low-income mothers, pregnant individuals, and young children by providing access to essential nutrition items such as fruits, vegetables, and low-fat dairy and infant formula. There you go. I don't think that's a terrible thing. I do have a soft spot for women, infants, and children. And if this program is actually doing what they say it's doing, I understand. I still think this is probably something that should be done at a state level. Probably something that should be done by a nonprofit. And if people choose to donate to it, they can. But I've come to find out that I don't always get what I want. What else do I got? I might not have that much more. Oh, Trump and Zelensky are set to meet in D.C. on this Friday. So now that we have peace in the Middle East, peace 2025, it's the theme of the year. It's the year of the peace in China and everywhere. Now it's time to move on to the next conflict. Meet with Zelensky, meet with Putin. See what happens. Wait, was there a phone call too? The meeting follows 2 phone calls between the presidents regarding Ukraine's air defenses. And yeah, it was just the other day or over the weekend that Trump had a post on True Social about Ukraine. So that's kind of notable timing. Newsom threatens withholding state funding to California universities that signed Trump's education deal. The compact states that universities are not required to sign the document, but would lose federal grants if they didn't. So I guess, what is this? This is a good old-fashioned, it's not a Mexican standoff, right? A Mexican standoff has 3 people. So what kind of standoff would this be? You have Trump on one side. Well, maybe it is a Mexican standoff with 3 people. Trump on one side, Newsom on the other, and then the universities. And they're all getting money. So the universities can either take the state funding or the federal funding. And honestly, the state funding is probably coming from federal too. But I mean, they're just going to, okay, well, whichever one's giving me more money, that's the deal I'm going to take. Yeah, Dale D. State funding is that launders federal funding. Yeah, it's California, so it's a Mexican standoff. Yeah, thank you, Ricky Irish. I knew I was right. Even regardless if it's wrong use of the phrase, it's in California, so it's an illegal alien Mexican standoff. Illegal Mexican standoff. Yeah, what else do I got? If this is true, I guess I have no reason to believe it's not true, but I also have no reason to believe it is true. But kind of a little disheartening. China cracks down on Christians, jails underground church pastors. China's communist government launched its biggest crackdown on Christians in years over the weekend, detaining dozens of pastors from house churches, including Pastor Ezra Jin Mingri, founder of one of China's biggest evangelical churches. Yeah, I don't like that at all. And I wonder if that's maybe something, if it's legitimate and there's concern around it, Trump will typically make a point to bring that up during one of their meetings or during a press conference with them or something. So we'll see what he does. He's not afraid to put people on the spot on this center stage. Let's watch this video.
that a federal judge has ruled that the fencing around this facility must come down by 11:59 tonight. Now, just being out here, I don't see any bulldozers, so it doesn't appear there's been much progress in that way. But we do know that the Village of Broadview sued to have the 8-foot fence removed, saying it posed a public safety hazard because it blocks emergency responders. Attorneys for the federal government argue the fencing is needed for business and to protect vehicles and personnel. Well, Illinois legislators gathered outside the Broadview ICE facility yesterday in opposition of the immigration crackdown and calling for the fencing to come down immediately.
Mr. Trump, tear down this fence now. Tear it down. Tear down this symbol of division.
That a federal
Mr. Trump, tear down that wall. Oh, that's funny. Misbehaving Irishman made a comment here. I've been around long enough that if John can't find enough news to fill an hour, he's not trying or has something else to do. It's not that I can't find enough news. I just like only talking about news that interests me. And my typical process is like find a news story. I'll read through it. I'll come up with talking points for what I actually want to say and how it connects to other things. And like I could probably find like 3 or 4 news stories and fill a whole hour if I really wanted to. But the part that's been missing is normally it'll take me like 2 or 3 hours of show prep for each one of these shows to like lay it out in order and all the talking points I want and all those things. Lately, I've been spending maybe 45 minutes, like just the truth, sometimes even less. Like today, it was actually probably about a half an hour. A half an hour before the show started, I started going through and like, I want to talk. I like this story. I like this story. I like this story. And I'm not trying to make excuses. It's just that is what it's been like for the past couple of weeks for me, which soon it'll be going back to the normal. Like I'm actually going to invest time into the show because I do find it important to prepare for this stuff and have things to talk about. What the hell is this? Trump's current and former U.S. ambassadors to Israel, Mike Huckabee and David M. Friedman, performed a rendition of Sweet Home Alabama in Israel titled Sweet Home Yerushalayim. This reminds me of Antony Blinken. Do you remember when Antony Blinken? Okay, I'm going to play this and then I'm going to go find that video.
Words begin anew. We all have come to help Hatzalah, and we want to help it thrive. Based right here in God's holy city. Throughout this land, it's saving lives.
It won't let me pause it. It won't let me pause it. I had to refresh it. This is blasphemy, guys. You can't do this to Sweet Home Alabama. What is this? And what is with these people playing guitars in foreign countries? This is Antony Blinken. Remember this back when he was supposed to be working on the peace deal? What okay, now I have so many questions. I don't even know what my questions are right now, but this is a pattern. We're trained to recognize the patterns, right? What is happening here? Is there like a secret underground, like politician Washington, D.C. band circuit that we don't know about? Like, do these politicians go around and play like at their like sex orgy parties and all the corrupt dealings they're doing? Do they have like some band playing in the background of these pubs? And it's like Mike Huckabee and Antony Blinken and Jake Sullivan, Mike Pence and shit. And they're just all up there rock. Like, what is going on? This is so weird to me. I have so many questions. What instrument do you think Trump would play? I feel like he'd be a lead singer. He'd have to be the lead singer. But I also feel like he might play a little harmonica too. You know, like one of those lead singers that plays harmonica. But then if he wanted to, he's like just so musically talented. He could, at any point, he can go play like piano, you know, for his little solo. He can't play the guitar, obviously. Every now and then he'll do a drum thing, but he's the lead singer. Whatever instrument he's playing, he's always singing. Anyway, Red Wave Press. Oregon reportedly plans to allocate over twice as much funding for free healthcare for illegal immigrants, $1.5 billion, as it budgets for state police, $717 million. Fox and Friends, Oregon, this is a quote, Oregon officials expect to allocate $1.5 billion in combined. No, I'll just play the clip.
Is reportedly spending more in its budget on health benefits for illegal migrants than it sets aside for state police. Oregon officials expect to allocate $1.5 billion in combined state and federal tax dollars on a program that offers health benefits to illegal migrants from 2025 to 2027. Now, during that very same period, they expect to spend $717 million on the Oregon State Police.
Yeah, that's crazy. Anyway, guys, that's what I got for you today. Let me see what the chat's saying about the music thing. I didn't even. Bagpipes, bass guitar. Bass guitar is the sexiest? I don't know. But yeah, that I just don't get it. You want to talk crimes against humanity? What they did to Sweet Home Alabama is one of them. Bassoon. Trump. All right. One more rant that came through is from Team Smooth, a daddy-daughter date contribution. Happy birthday from Badlands fans. Thank you, Team Smooth. $7. I appreciate you. Well, guys, with that, I'm going to get out of here, and I'm going to send you over to Ghost's show because he is going to be going live here in about 13 minutes or so with his Geopolitics with Ghost, and I have a feeling that show is very timely right now. Oh, there's a YouTube super chat. Look at that. Let me put that up on the screen. Couple thumbs up from Rain Runner. Thank you, Rain Runner. Appreciate you. Appreciate the love over on YouTube for those who are tuning in. And Babbage3, thank you for sending over that the comment, the YouTube super chat for $1. Y'all are great. Stay tuned for special project. We'll be dropping that here one of these days. So you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time I see you. We're going to listen to this soft disclosure ad, and then I'll be back again tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern right here on the Daily Herald. And don't forget to get your GART tickets. Single-day tickets are now on sale. Also, virtual tickets, they're at a discounted rate through tomorrow, so get your tickets.
They say confidence starts with a smooth skin. And baby, soft disclosure lotion delivers.
I swear by this stuff. Like, I kid you guys not. This is the first lotion I've ever had in my entire life that, like, I don't get ashy after I put it on any part of my body. Like, my hands are always dry, and my hands have not gotten ashy without, like, rinsing them through water and washing them with soap since I started putting soft disclosure on. Like, it is Black Man approved. I kid you not.
Black Man approved. You heard him. And let's be real. If it can handle his hands, it can handle anything.
Feet are like, they get so dry, like the heels of them, it'll just kind of like flake off. Like, but with soft disclosure, once you put it on, like it starts to absorb it.
Yeah, he went there. Don't worry, we won't show you his feet, but trust us, they're smoother too. Soft disclosure lotion is made with aloe, goat's milk, honey, and our exclusive oil blend that actually restores your skin barrier. Visit softdisclosure.com, use code BADLANDS, and get 15% off.